When grief counselor Elena Moreau receives a mysterious call, offering her $50,000 to impersonate a dead woman, it's desperate enough to say yes. But Marcus Kane's proposal isn't just about playing his deceased wife at a memorial service. About uncovering the truth behind Sarah Kane's suspicious death. Greetings, fellow dreamers. This tale is filled with love, secrets, and a twist you'll never forget. Come along as we uncover it. The rain hammered against the floor-to-ceiling windows of Elena Moreau's apartment. Each drop like a bullet against glass. She stood in her kitchen, staring at the eviction notice crumpled in her trembling hands. 3 months behind on rent. The medical bills from her father's cancer treatment had drained everything. And now he was gone, leaving her with nothing but debt and the hollow ache of loss. Her phone buzzed. Unknown number. Elena Moreau. The voice was deep, controlled, with the kind of authority that came from never being told no. Yes, my name is Marcus Kane. I have a proposition for you. Elena's grip tightened on the phone. In her line of work as a grief counselor, she'd learned to recognize predators. I'm not interested in whatever you're selling. I'm not selling anything. I'm offering you $50,000 for 1 week of your time. The words hit her, like ice water. She sank onto her worn couch, the eviction notice still clutched in her other hand. What kind of work? The kind that requires someone who can convincingly play the role of a grieving widow? Elena's blood went cold. Excuse me? I need you to pretend to be my dead wife. The line went silent, except for the rain's relentless percussion against her windows. Elena had counseled hundreds of people through loss, but this was something else entirely. Something twisted. You're insane. I'm desperate. And based on your financial situation, so are you. How did he know about her finances? Elena's heart began to race. Who are you? Someone who knows that your father died 6 weeks ago. Someone who knows you're about to lose your apartment. Someone who knows you've been searching for answers about a woman named Sarah Kane who died in a car accident last year. Elena's phone slipped from her numb fingers, clattering to the floor. Sarah Kane. The name she'd been investigating for months. The woman whose death had haunted her dreams since she'd found that crumpled newspaper clipping in her father's belongings. The same Sarah Kane who looked exactly like her. She picked up the phone with shaking hands. How do you know about Sarah? 'Cause she was my wife. And you're going to help me find out who killed her. The elevator to Marcus Kane's penthouse climbed 47 floors in suffocating silence. Elena studied her reflection in the polished steel doors, hardly recognizing herself in Sarah's designer clothes. The black Valentino dress fit perfectly, as if it had been tailored for her body, which according to Marcus, it had been. You're the same height, same build, same everything, he'd explained during their meeting at his lawyer's office. Only difference is your hair color, but Sarah wore wigs frequently for social events. Now, with platinum blonde hair cascading over her shoulders and Sarah's wedding ring burning against her finger, Elena felt like she was wearing a dead woman's skin. The elevator doors opened to reveal a sprawling apartment that screamed wealth and emptiness. Floor-to-ceiling windows overlooked Central Park, and everything was pristine, untouched, like a museum exhibit. "Welcome home, darling," Marcus said, his voice carrying a bitter edge. Elena stepped into the living room, her heels clicking against marble floors. Photographs lined the mantel, all showing Marcus with a woman who could have been Elena's twin. Same face, same smile, same haunted eyes. She was beautiful, Elena whispered. She was a liar. The venom in his voice made Elena turn. Marcus stood by the windows, his hands clenched into fists. In the 3 days since their first meeting, she'd learned that Marcus Kane owned half of Manhattan's commercial real estate. What she hadn't expected was the rage that seemed to simmer just beneath his controlled surface. "The memorial service is tomorrow," he continued. 1 year since the accident. All Sarah's family will be there, along with everyone who knew her, including the person who killed her. You still haven't told me why you think she was murdered. Marcus walked to a wall safe, hidden behind a Monet painting. He withdrew a manila folder and handed it to Elena. Inside were police reports, medical examiner findings, and insurance documents. The official story is that Sarah lost control of her car during a rainstorm, crashed into a tree on Riverside, Drive, but look at this. He pointed to a highlighted section in the autopsy report. She had defensive wounds on her hands, fresh scratches that weren't consistent with the accident. Elena's stomach twisted. The police dismissed this. The police were paid to dismiss this. By whom? Marcus's jaw tightened. Someone with enough money and influence to make a murder look like an accident. Someone who knew Sarah was getting too close to the truth. What truth? That's what you're going to help me find out? Elena set down the folder, her hands shaking. Insane. I'm a grief counselor, not some kind of detective. You're the only person who can walk into that memorial service and make people believe Sarah has come back from the dead. You're the only one who can rattle them enough to make mistakes, if they try to kill me too. Marcus stepped closer, and Elena caught the scent of his cologne, expensive and dark. I won't let anything happen to you, because I'm useful to you. Because you're the key to everything. Elena looked back at the photographs on the mantle. In one of them, Sarah was laughing at something off camera, her hand resting on Marcus's chest. They looked happy, in love. I loved her, Elena said. Quietly, I thought I did, till I discovered she'd been lying to me about everything. What kind of lies? Marcus turned away. The kind that get people killed? Elena's phone buzzed. A text from an unknown number. We know what you're doing. Stop now, or join Sarah. She held up the phone with trembling hands. Marcus read the message, his face going white. They're watching us, Elena whispered. Good, Marcus said, his voice deadly calm. That means we're getting close. The memorial service was held at St. Patrick's Cathedral, and Elena had never felt more like a ghost walking among the living. Every step down the aisle in Sarah's shoes felt like a betrayal. Every whispered gasp from the congregation like a judgment. Marcus's hand was warm and steady on her back as he guided her to the front pew. She could feel hundreds of eyes burning into her, could hear the sharp intake of breath from Sarah's mother, Catherine, who sat frozen in the second row. My God, Catherine whispered, loud enough for others to hear. She looks exactly like I. No, Marcus said quietly, settling beside Elena. It's why I brought her. Father Mackenzie began the service, but Elena barely heard the words. She was too focused on the faces around her, searching for signs of guilt, fear, recognition. Marcus had briefed her on everyone, Sarah's business partner. James Hartwell, who'd inherited her share of their art gallery when she died, her best friend, Monica Vega, who'd been with Sarah the night before the accident, her cousin, David Chen. A lawyer who'd handled Sarah's will. It was Monica who broke first. Halfway through the service, she stood abruptly and rushed toward the exit. Elena caught Marcus's eye and nodded toward the fleeing woman. Go, he whispered. I'll stay here. Elena slipped out of the pew and followed Monica into the cathedral's courtyard. She found her collapsed on a stone bench, sobbing into her hands. Monica? Woman looked up, and Elena saw her face crumble with terror. You're dead. I watched them bury you, threw dirt on your coffin. Elena sat beside her, channeling every technique she'd learned in grief counseling. I know this is confusing. Confusing? Monica's voice cracked. You died, Sarah. You died because you wouldn't listen to me, because you kept digging into things that should have stayed buried. What things? Monica's eyes darted around the empty courtyard. The gallery, the money laundering. You found the records, the offshore accounts. You're going to expose everything. Elena's pulse quickened. Was involved? I can't. They'll kill me too. Who, Monica? Who killed Sarah? Monica stood abruptly, backing away. You need to disappear again. For real this time. Before they realize you're not actually dead. I'm not Sarah. The words hung in the air like a confession. Monica's face went from terror to confusion to something worse, realization. Then who are you? Someone who wants justice for her. Monica's expression hardened. Justice. You have no idea what you're walking into. Sarah thought she could take down some small-time art fraud, but it goes so much deeper. Politicians, judges, people who make problems disappear permanently. Then, help me, help you, get killed. No. Monica started walking away, then turned back. But I'll give you one warning. The person who ordered Sarah's death will be at the Kane Industries board meeting tomorrow, and Marcus knows exactly who it is. Elena felt the world tilt beneath her feet. What are you saying? I'm saying you're not working with Sarah's widowed husband, honey. You're working with her killer. The courtyard spun around Elena as Monica disappeared into the crowd of departing mourners. She stood alone among the stone saints and gargoyles. The weight of Monica's revelation crushing down on her like the cathedral's massive doors. Her phone buzzed. Text from Marcus. Where are you? We need to leave. Now. Elena looked back at the cathedral where Marcus waited, then at the busy street, where Monica had vanished. Every instinct screamed at her to run, but she thought of her father's medical bills, of the eviction notice, of Sarah's terrified face in those photographs. She typed back, "Coming." But as she walked back toward the cathedral, Elena made a decision. That would change everything. She wasn't going to run. She was going to find out the truth, even if it killed her. Elena spent the night searching through Sarah's belongings in Marcus's penthouse, her hands shaking as she discovered hidden compartments in jewelry boxes and false bottoms in picture frames. Everything Monica had said felt like poison in her veins, but she had to know the truth. In Sarah's jewelry box, beneath layers of expensive necklaces, Elena found a flash drive labeled insurance. Her laptop revealed files that made her stomach drop. Financial records, photographs of Marcus meeting with known criminals, and most damning of all, recorded phone conversations. Marcus's voice came through her headphones, cold, incalculating. "The problem isn't the money, Vincent. The problem is my wife. She's become a liability." Another voice, gravelly and menacing. "Accidents happen, Marcus. Especially in the rain. Make it clean. Nothing that points back to me." Lena ripped off the headphones, bile rising in her throat. She'd been sleeping under the same roof as Sarah's killer, eating dinner with him, letting him touch her hand, guide her through crowds, protect her. The apartment door clicked open. Elena. Marcus's voice echoed through the marble foyer. "Are you awake?" She quickly closed the laptop and shoved the flash drive into her bra, then slipped back into bed, feigning sleep. Marcus appeared in the doorway, his silhouette backlit by the hallway lights. "Tomorrow's the board meeting," he said softly. "Are you ready?" Elena kept her breathing steady, her eyes closed. "Ready for what exactly?" He moved closer, and she could feel his presence beside the bed. "To finish what we started, which is finding Sarah's killer." The lie came so easily from his lips that Elena almost believed he believed it himself. She opened her eyes and found him staring down at her with an expression she couldn't read. "Marcus, can I ask you something?" "Of course. Did you love her?" His face darkened. "I thought I did. But you can't love someone you never really knew. What if she loved you? What if she was trying to protect you?" Marcus sat on the edge of the bed, his weight causing the mattress to dip. "Protect me from what?" Elena sat up, studying his face in the dim light. Either he was the most gifted liar she'd ever met, or there were layers to this story she didn't understand. From the people she was investigating, Sarah wasn't investigating anyone. She was working with them. That's not what the evidence suggests. Marcus went very still. What evidence? Elena's heart pounded as she realized her mistake. She'd revealed too much. I mean, from what Monica said today. Monica's been lying to protect herself. She was Sarah's partner in the money laundering scheme. Then why haven't you turned her in? Because I need proof. Real evidence that will hold up in court. And tomorrow, at the board meeting, we're going to get it. Lena nodded, playing along while her mind raced. One of them was lying. Either Marcus had killed his wife and was using Elena to cover his tracks, or Monica was. Manipulating her into believing an innocent man was guilty. But which was the truth? "Marcus, what happens after tomorrow, when this is all over?" He reached out and touched her cheek, and Elena had to force herself not to flinch. "After tomorrow, you'll be free to go back to your life, with enough money to start over anywhere you want. And what about us? What about this?" She gestured between them. Marcus's hand dropped. "There is no us, Elena. There never was. You're playing a role, remember? Don't confuse the performance." With reality, the words cut deeper than they should have. Despite everything, Despite the fear and suspicion, she'd felt something real growing between them. But looking at his cold expression now, Elena realized she might have been the only one feeling it. Of course, she said quietly, "Just business, just business." After Marcus left for his study, Elena lay awake staring at the ceiling. Flash drive pressed against her ribs like a secret heartbeat. Tomorrow, she would walk into that board meeting and discover the truth about Sarah Kane's death. But tonight, she had a terrible feeling that the truth would destroy one of them. Her phone lit up with another unknown text. "The meeting tomorrow is a trap. Trust no one, not even yourself." They emerged from the Kane Industries building into a maze of back alleys, but Elena knew they weren't safe. Vincent Torino's black SUVs were already surrounding the block, and she could see armed men taking positions at every exit. "This way." Marcus pulled her toward his car, but Elena stopped. "They'll follow us wherever we go. Your car is probably tracked. And what do you suggest?" Elena looked back at the building, then at the flash drive in her hand. "We end this right here, right now." "Elena, no. It's too dangerous. I'm not Elena anymore, remember? Sarah Kane. And Sarah Kane deserves justice." Before Marcus could stop her, Elena was walking back toward the building's main entrance. She could see Vincent Torino himself standing in the lobby, his cold eyes scanning the street for any sign of movement. Her phone rang. "Marcus, what are you doing?" "What you hired me to do. Playing a role." She ended the call and pushed through the glass doors. Vincent's men immediately surrounded her, but she walked past them as if they were invisible, her chin raised with Sarah's trademark defiance. "Hello, Vincent," she said, her voice carrying clearly across the marble lobby.
"It's me."
Shh. Vincent Torino was a small man who commanded attention through sheer menace. When he smiled, Elena thought of sharks. Sarah Kane, back from the dead. How wonderfully inconvenient. Not as inconvenient as federal agents discovering your money laundering operation. "What federal agents?" Elena held up the flash drive. "The ones I sent copies of these files to. They should be arriving any moment." Vincent's smile faltered. "You're bluffing. Might check your phone, Vincent? I imagine you have some very interesting text messages waiting." As if on cue, Vincent's phone buzzed, then again and again. His face went from confident to concerned to furious as he read. "You little bitch. Sarah Kane doesn't stay dead, Vincent. And neither does the truth." The lobby doors burst open as FBI agents flooded in, weapons drawn. Elena watched Vincent's empire crumble in real time as his men were zip-tied and read their rights. James Hartwell was dragged from the elevator in handcuffs, still protesting his innocence. But Elena's victory felt hollow, because Marcus was nowhere to be seen. She found him 2 hours later at Sarah's grave, standing in the rain without an umbrella. His expensive suit was soaked through, but he didn't seem to notice. "It's over," Elena said, approaching slowly. "Is it? Vincent's been arrested?" James flipped and gave them everything. "The whole money laundering operation is finished." Marcus didn't turn around. "And what about us?" Elena joined him at the gravestone, reading Sarah's name etched in black marble. "There is no us. You said so yourself." "I lied." "About what?" "About not feeling anything. About this being just business." Marcus finally looked at her, and Elena saw something broken in his eyes. "When I thought Vincent had taken you too, when I saw you walk back into that building, I realized I couldn't lose you the way I lost her." Elena's heart clenched. "Marcus, I know you're not Sarah. I've known from the beginning. Right. But somewhere, along the way, you stopped being a replacement and started being yourself. And I fell in love with yourself." The rain intensified, but neither of them moved. Elena thought of everything that had brought them to this moment. The lies, the deception, the shared danger that had forged something real between them. "I can't be her for you," Elena said quietly. "I don't want you to be her. I want you to be you. Even knowing I only agreed to help because I thought you were her killer. Even knowing that," Elena looked down at Sarah's grave, then back at Marcus. "She would have wanted justice. She got it. Thanks to you. And what do we get?" Marcus reached for her hand, his fingers intertwining with hers. "A chance. If you want it." Elena thought of her empty apartment, her mountain of debt, her life that had been derailed by loss and desperation. Then she thought of the past week, of feeling alive and purposeful and connected to someone who saw her clearly despite all the pretense. "The 50,000, she said. "It's yours regardless. No strings attached. I don't want it." Marcus looked surprised. "Elena, I want something else." "What, a real first date?" "Not as Sarah Kane or Elena Moreau playing a role, just as us." Marcus smiled for the first time since she'd known him, and it transformed his entire face. "I know a place. A small restaurant in Brooklyn. Nothing fancy. Perfect." As they walked away from Sarah's grave, Elena felt the weight of the past year lifting from her shoulders. She'd lost her father, her savings, her apartment, but in pretending to be someone else, she'd found herself. And in the process, she'd found something she'd stopped believing in. The possibility of love born from truth instead of lies. The rain began to clear as they reached Marcus's car, and for the first time in months, Lena saw sunlight breaking through the clouds. In the end,